Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fashionista Life. I'm your host, Jennifer Johnson, and I am here today with Alyssa Steffinacci. Hello, hello.
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, you are a skin therapist in Naples, Florida, and we're here today to talk about skincare.
Yes.
So, tell me, how long have you been doing this? What got you into the business? What keeps you in the business? What's interesting?
Well, I've been in practice here in Naples for 35 years.
Wow.
And I hate to say this, but I'm the oldest in age and the longest esthetician in Naples.
Wow, that's some
Yes.
street cred right there.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes the oldest part I don't like so
But you
much.
know what? I don't always agree with the whole age thing or how long you've been doing it or any of those things because, practice makes perfect. The more you've done something, the more you know about it.
Ah, I agree.
So
Yes.
what got you into being a skin therapist? Where did you start?
I actually started in New England and I was working for a dermatologist right out of school. And I saw even there was a need for the doctors didn't want to do extractions. They didn't want to um, fool around with them, what they referred to as the makeup patient.
Oh.
And then insurance started to take a play in it, and they just didn't have time for anyone. Then walked in me.
There you
So
come.
I kind of created a position for myself there in Portland, Maine. And I was there for a few years and moved to Florida to get out
Mhm.
of the cold weather like everyone else. And I actually moved to the other coast, to West Palm Beach.
Okay.
And I was there for about a year and getting my feet wet, just didn't find the right niche and came to Naples. And
Wow.
I've been here ever since.
Very cool.
Yes.
Very cool.
And I've worked with 4 of the leading plastic surgeons here in Naples.
Wow.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that whole story is very cool. You basically created your position where you were at before, when you first got started because nothing existed really like what you do.
That's correct.
And so I really want to talk because all of us have skincare issues, whether you're a man, a woman, and or a child. We
Mhm.
all have skin issues. I know what mine are. In fact, don't look my sunburned skin because I
Uh,
did burn myself yesterday. Yes, put your sunscreen on, right? That's probably the number
well,
one thing to tell
just
people.
just remember every time your skin changes color, you've invited skin cancer into your body.
Oh, see, folks, now that's scary.
Mhm.
We live in the land of sunshine. I don't know where you're listening to this podcast at, but it doesn't matter wherever you're at, you're going to have sun. So even when you're in the car, put on make sure you have sunscreen.
This is correct.
And we'll talk about that, like your must-do list, right?
Yes.
We should have a must-do list. First, we're going to talk about products, okay? And there's so many products out there, over the counter, prescriptions, everything you can imagine. And I want to talk about the new things that are on the market that we're always being inundated with. I know every time I open up a magazine, Vogue or Allure or any of those, there's something new that they're saying, oh, we've tried this and it's the best and you need to do this. And how do you figure out where you start? You try them and it doesn't work, or, let's talk about that. And then let's talk about actual products that are out there right now that are new to the market that you want to talk about.
Well, here's the thing. You always want to try to choose a professional grade product. What does professional grade mean? It means it's a product that is only sold in a physician's office. It's not sold on Amazon, it's not sold on eBay, it's not sold in the high-end department stores or over the counter, CVS, the drugstores. You're going to pay the same amount of money, if not less, compared to the cosmetic department, but you're going to get much higher percentages.
Got it.
So, why wouldn't you do that? And it's important to find someone that you trust, that you can go to. And usually, if there's someone in a physician's office, they know what they're talking about. So that's your go to place to find product. And they will help guide you to what you need.
Okay. And so there are differences between buying something over the counter, at your
Mhm.
local drugstore versus coming to a physician's office and purchasing the product there because they're medical grade.
Yes. And a lot of to get volume in a product, what do? Just like with
Oh.
shampoos, they add wax.
Mhm.
What does wax do? Clog the pores. Makes it look like a whole lot more, but it's
Wow, I didn't even think of that.
yeah.
And clogs the pores, then you're back with acne and all kinds of other skin
Well, then you
issues.
get that dull look to your skin.
Mhm.
You don't have that pretty glowing face.
Mine's really glowing today, probably because I am burnt, but that's another story.
No.
So definitely buying high quality products, preferably from a dermatologist or
Plastic surgeon. If a spa has a medical director, then you still will get professional grade products there also.
okay. How about new products that are on the market right now that we may not know of that are not
Well, this is an interesting question because this is what I've been getting from my 30-year-olds and under. Does it have a certain ingredient in it? And they come in with a list.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness. They've
yes.
been doing their
And
homework.
some of it, I look at the list and I say, oh, I have no idea what that is.
Here, let me go to
let me
Google.
let me look it up. And I realized that that generation, 35, say, and under, are all looking for products that don't have carcinogenics in them.
Wow.
And in the
Makes sense.
United States, we allow 1,500 carcinogenics in our skincare products.
Holy cow.
In the UK and in Europe, they allow 0.
Wow.
So there's actually an app
Oh my word.
that you can
Wait a second, everyone. There's an app for
there's an
that.
app for that. And I learned this from a 13-year-old.
Of
And
course, right? Who better to learn all this technology from? I know my
this is
children
true.
will. They
Yes,
look at me,
your
they're like,
daughter.
"Mom, you don't know how to restart your iPhone?" I'm like, "No, because I don't know how to turn it back on."
That's because you do it for us.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
why I pay your bill. So they started coming to me, asking me about products. And then they realized there was this website they were going on so they can scan a barcode on anything and it'll tell you from a 0 to 10 how bad it is for you.
Wow. We
And
need that so we can drop this into
yes.
our link.
And so people were going on. And of course, you and I, by our ages at this point,
Yes.
me being a lot older than you, but still, we've probably drenched ourselves
Oh, I'm
in
sure we
these
have.
things. But that's great that the newer generations, the
Mhm.
younger people, are really paying attention. And the consumer is much smarter than they used to be,
'Cause
much
the
smarter.
internet, we have everything.
The internet, it started out with like New Beauty magazine. That was like the Bible of plastic surgery and
Oh,
skincare.
wow.
It came out 4 times a year. I think it comes out more often now. And but now you have this app.
That is
So,
so cool.
yeah. So I had to really research and
Mhm.
look around. And of course, you have the problem of getting something from another country brought
Right.
in to the United States during COVID.
Not that easy.
No,
Not that
it's not.
easy.
So there is a company called Illuminaire MD, and it's out of the UK, and they have 0 carcinogenics in their product because
Wow.
in the UK, again, you can't
Mhm.
use them. They won't allow it. It's not called an FDA there, but it's what our FDA is here.
So I assume because it's coming over from another country, it's not necessarily been quote unquote cleared by the FDA, but we
Well, they now have a packaging company here in the United States.
oh, so it
It's a new
awesome.
company. It's actually number 2 in Europe and in the UK. It's number 2.
And now we have it
And now we have
here.
it here. And it's growing
Mhm.
throughout the United States. But it's a nice product. It's reasonably priced. It does exactly what it says it's going to do, and it's very simple.
So is it cleansers and the whole gamut?
Yeah,
Cleansers and
it's the whole gamut, but they don't necessarily believe that you have to use the same moisturizer. Well, excuse me. They don't necessarily believe that you use different moisturizers for different times of day.
oh, so it's all the
That's
same.
something that was a marketing ploy.
And who has fallen victim to that? Oh,
Yes,
not me.
because our skin doesn't really know if it's awake or sleeping or, it
That's
doesn't know
really
that.
funny.
Yeah,
You're so right.
Right. So, and then you've got the people who work nights,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
like,
they'll
what
say
do
to
I
you, "What do I
use?
use and when do I use it?" What you use what you need.
Mhm,
And I never ever, when someone comes into me, because I'm the consumer also, I have them bring in everything they're using,
mhm,
and I do not tell them to throw away or get rid of what they have. If it's almost gone or they just
mhm,
bought it, I say, "Look, finish this up or use it on your neck and your chest, and then we'll introduce a new product. Or as you finish your products, when you're ready to rebuy, let me introduce a new product
mhm.
to you."
Sounds good. I think we need to have a podcast with the video where I bring in
Oh,
a bunch of
sure.
beauty products. I mean, I am very minimalistic. I use one brand
Mhm.
and that's it. And I use the cleanser and the cream, and I don't use under eye cream. I don't use serums. I don't. Is
Well
that bad?
well, no, here's the thing. So, I had a lady the other day, and I have this happen probably about once every 3 or 4 months. She is one of my older patients, new patient to me, and she said, "Oh, yes, I use a very good line." And I said, "Okay, what is that?" And she goes, "I use Clinique." And I said, "Clinique is a very good line. Clinique is meant for teenagers,
It is?
preteens."
Really?
Yes,
I never knew
and
that.
it's a company owned by Estee Lauder,
Hmm.
and they were supposed to transition when they opened and started that young person to Estee Lauder.
Oh, it makes
It never
total
happened, and it
sense.
never
They
happened.
stayed with it.
They stayed with it. So, it isn't necessarily an age thing when you have to
Hmm.
transition into different things, it's the condition of your skin.
Okay.
You and I have, and I've worked on your skin, you
Yes.
and I have very pretty skin to look at. We don't have good elasticity.
Oh,
That's because we
bum,
have
bum.
those light eyes,
Yes.
and so what did we get? We have the pretty skin to look at,
Right.
nice, even, pretty, creamy,
Mhm.
but we don't have the elasticity.
Which means it's gonna sag.
Well,
Frown lines.
no. He
Yes.
I always say, "Just keep smiling and nobody
No
notices."
one's gonna see
They
it
just see the
except for
little
my
crow's
crow's
feet.
feet.
Exactly. But so, as we age or as our skin changes, and it changes about every 7 years. Now, that doesn't mean it's 7, 14,
Right.
21. It's just about every 7 years, and hormones play a huge part in them, and we need different things,
Right.
and we need less of other things. So that's where I come in to try to guide someone in the right direction. I never want anybody to break the bank, because I always think of me being the customer.
Right. And that's so smart because,
Mhm.
you do the same thing. You have skin just like the rest of
Right.
us. And
And I want them to come back, and I want them to be able to say, "Oh, look, my face looks amazing.
right.
I'm going to see Alyssa today." Who is she? Well, she does my skin. And and I think that's probably why I have been in practice for 35 years here in Naples, because Naples has been very good to me, but it can be very unforgiving if you don't do
Right.
right by people.
Exactly. It's always doing right by the client
Correct.
because they will definitely come back to you. They know that you are taking care of them.
Mhm.
And that's ultimately what matters. We are going to head to a quick commercial break and we will be right back with Alyssa. And we're going to be talking next about skincare. What is a tried and true product, or what are tried and true products out there, and specific skin conditions, and perhaps what we can do about those. So we will be back in a couple of minutes. No, this is just my commercial break, and then we're going for 15 more minutes. And then we're done for the first episode.
How did that go?
It went great. See, we're just talking.
I know.
It's like
My hands are sweating.
you're like, it's okay.
I kept going.
And if you hit your hand on there, you can hear it.
Yeah, I was.
So just do this.
I was like, "Where's the animal I'm supposed to be petting?"
I'll bring a stuffed animal next
Okay.
time. So now we'll just talk about, I think I'll leave the skincare. We'll see what we have time for in this episode, because we're going to talk about procedures
Mhm,
in the second part. I think I'm going to put what you should do for skincare in your ages down here,
mhm.
but we'll see. if we're running short on
That went
time.
by fast.
It did. It did. It was 15 minutes. So now we have 15 more. We're going to talk about tried and true products,
Mhm.
and then skincare problems. So, all right. You ready for me? Okay. Hello, everyone. And we are back up. Hello, everybody. I'm Jennifer, and you are listening to The Fashionista Life. And we are back from commercial break with Alyssa Steffinacci, and she is a skin therapist in Naples, Florida. We are talking about everything skincare and skin related today. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right. So we've talked about products that are on the market, new products. Now we're going to talk about tried and true products, things that have been out there for a long time that are, have shown that they work, and then specific skin conditions. So products.
Here's the thing. There's all kinds of things out there on the market, but the tried and true and the things that is still the gold standard in plastic surgery and in dermatology is Retin-A.
Okay. And that's in products, or is that injectables?
No, Retin-A is a topical. It's the pharmaceutical name is tretinool,
Okay.
and we originally was designed for teenage acne many, many, many years ago.
Oh my, does it work for that?
Well, yes,
We'll
it
talk
does.
about that.
But what they found was when they were examining the skin that it was decreasing the texture was pretty, the fine lines were gone, the pores were smaller. Then it became a beauty product very quickly.
Oh,
It's still a prescription, but what happened a few years later, probably 25 years ago, retinols became popular. That is still your tretinool.
Oh,
But
so retin A, sorry to
yes,
interrupt, but retin A is different than retinol.
yes. And how is it different? Retin-A has acne properties in it to fight acne. Retinols don't. They're not harsh. They go on the skin. They're microencapsulated. So that means they go on the skin over a 12-hour period of time. That's why we have you use it at night.
Oh,
So what it's doing is it's a cell turnover. So we're turning over those cells faster than our body normally would do. When we were in our 30s and under, those cells were flicking off our face every 10, 15 days. After that, it's about every 70, 80 days.
oh my gosh. So I have scales.
Yes. So that's
Wow.
why exfoliating using a retinol or a retin-A is very important. Most people, a retinol is all they need.
Okay.
Retin-A is truly meant for acne, and it was meant for cystic acne.
And so retin A can only be found in prescriptions.
This is correct.
So what you find at the drugstore or in a lot of the products that are not prescription is retinol, which is different.
Right. And you really want to stick with, like we had talked about before
Mhm.
in the last segment, a professional grade product. You are going to get just the retinol. When you buy something over the counter or in a drugstore, you're going to get other additives in it.
Okay.
So you're not going to get that big punch that you really want.
If there was one product is there any product at all that is okay to buy over the counter and use on your face?
Cleanser.
Okay. So okay.
Yeah. If I always tell people if they're and most cleansers, even professional grade, aren't going to break the bank. But if you had to find one product, that would be it.
Is there any particular one that would be your go-to?
Sure. I like, and I'm going to call it Biomedic but that's not. That was their original name. So they were sold out, and it's now La Roche Posay.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And La Roche Posay, you can buy over the counter at CVS, Walgreens. I believe you can buy it on Amazon. So if you were going to pick a product, that would be over the counter, a line. That would be one I would go with. That was the first glycolic acid company out there.
Really? And they make sunscreen.
Yes, they make the best sunscreen.
I actually didn't work for me yesterday, but I think it was the person that was applying it.
Maybe it could have been old.
There's a handprint.
Yes, I see that very clearly.
Um, It's funny. But anyway, so that's one over the counter thing that would be okay to use.
Yes.
And then any other tried and true products that
Yes.
you would recommend?
I always tell people there's two things that we all have to use. We have to use a retinol at night, and we have to use a vitamin C. Vitamin C is what our skin is made up of, what our collagen is made up of. And over the years, they have gotten the vitamin C to perfection. Everything else you're going to use on your face is going to be the frosting.
Mhm.
We have to have the cake before we can have the
Ooh,
frosting.
I like the cake too.
Yes.
So how do you get is it in products that you buy or is it a separate thing or is it an ingestible?
No, it's a that's a good question,
Mm,
ingestible, because I do get that.
it just makes sense. It's like
Yes.
vitamin C. If I take a vitamin C tablet, is that all I need or do I still need to put it on my face?
No, you need to put it on your face, and you want to get a stabilized vitamin C. So when you're looking for vitamin C's, you'll find them in glass bottles. You'll find them in
Oh,
dark
really?
glass bottles. And why is that? Because it oxidizes from the
Mhm.
light. The company that we had spoken about earlier, Illuminaire MD, they hit it out of the park. So you get their vitamin C with a powdered cap on top, and you constitute the bottle. You push the powder into the bottle and shake it up, and you have a fresh
Oh,
bottle of
wow.
vitamin C, because vitamin C loses its potency at about a month and a half. And when you buy a bottle of vitamin C, it lasts you about 4 to 6 months.
Wow.
So it doesn't go from a 25 to zero, but it goes down quickly.
Mhm.
So by constituting it, in other words, um, in the Luminaire MD, you get 3 small bottles that last you for 6 months. So
Wow.
each time you're getting a fresh new bottle.
They have portioned it out correctly.
Genius. Why didn't I think of that?
Right? We all have those aha moments, like, seriously, something so simple.
And I knew that the vitamin C loses its potency. We all know that in the industry,
Mhm.
but they thought of it.
So that's another, tried and true product.
Mhm.
Is there any other products? And I'm gonna ask you in a second we'll talk about that in the next segment, what the number one thing is that we need to make sure we do. But, any other tried and true products out there that you've used forever?
To be perfectly honest with you, the gold standard is a retinol at night, microencapsulated, which means it goes over a period of 12 hours, and a vitamin C during the day. And it always comes in a liquid form, a couple little drops, your whole face, your neck, what you have left over on your hands, put on the back of your
Oh,
hands.
yes. Oh my gosh, that is gotta be the place that everybody misses.
That, and dear Lord, if you ever stand beside somebody in the grocery store
Yeah.
line with very, very short hair that they've
Uh-huh.
had their whole life,
Mhm.
the lines behind their neck is horrific.
So put some behind your yes.
Yes.
Do you know what's really funny? I mean, you could have a beautiful face and it's been, it's just been
Taken
taken
care of.
care of. And then your hands. I
Yeah.
remember I mean, to this day, I still look at my mom's hands and they're, she has
Mhm.
dark spots on them.
Right.
Never have put sunscreen on them, nothing. And I'm now beginning to get that. I'm like, oh my God, oh my gosh.
Well,
Or
we
my
are our
neck.
mother. We are our mother.
I think so, but, like, I forget to put something on my neck. I forget to bring the product
Yeah.
down onto my neck
Yeah.
or what do you call this area?
Your décolleté
Décolleté. I
or
or
chest.
chest, AKA my burned chest
Yes.
at the moment, which, I should have been wearing more sunscreen or applying more often, but, um, which kinda leads me into the next, questions that I have for you is skin conditions, and I'm thinking 2 in my head, and what are the conditions that come up to you most? I have 2 in my head that I'm thinking of.
Anti-aging.
Okay.
So people want to see if they can reverse the aging process that they've already.
Can you?
Actually, in today's world, with the products we have, we can improve damaged skin.
Okay.
We couldn't 20 years ago.
Mhm.
And now we can. There are some really good products out there. I do a lot of teenage acne.
Mm. Uh, yes, and I remember coming to you for that.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So I have a lot of, and it's interesting. They're starting younger and younger,
Mhm.
11 years old.
Wow.
Again, all the hormones in the food, the kids are, growing up so quickly and their hormones are changing. So I see a lot of acne patients. Acne, no one should have acne. Acne can be cured, not necessarily by me primarily, but by me and your dermatologist.
Mhm. Because I know we hear a lot about, is it Accutane?
Accutane is oral
Okay.
Retin-A.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
really? I did not know that.
Yes.
So you could
Um,
just put Retin-A on there and
no.
no.
It's
See,
a
here I'm like, "Well, why not?"
it's a lot more potent.
Okay,
And it's usually anywhere from 6 months to a year treatment.
wow.
And it is a very it is a drug that you have to be cautious of.
Mhm.
But I, being in the business as many years as I had, I researched it and I put my 12-year-old, which is now 27,
Oh my
my
gosh.
12-year-old
Wow.
on it. And I remember someone saying to me, "How can you do that? It's going to stunt his growth. He's 6'4".
Didn't.
No.
Wow.
And then I heard, "Well, he will be depressed. It causes depression." I said, "Acne causes depression."
Mhm.
So it's not a drug to be afraid of.
Okay. And that is that in extreme cases if you can't get it under control other
That's
ways
if you,
or
yeah, because they'll have you go different routes, as far as antibiotics and topical. But in today's world, we should not see anyone with active acne for any period of time because we can get rid of it.
Sure. My biggest one is and because I'm of of an age group where I deal with melasma.
Mhm.
And I have tried I mean, I don't know if you remember, but I don't know if our listeners remember there was a product out there called Triluma.
Mhm.
Used it, and then it worked so well for me. I'm thinking this is too good to be true, and then it was pulled off the
In
market.
2020.
Yeah, so no longer that for me. So I have another product.
It is back on the market.
Oh, it is?
Yes. They had to change their label because what happened was, like you, it worked very well.
Mhm.
Do you know what Triluma is?
I do not, and do I
It
wanna
is,
know?
yes, it
Is it gonna
is.
harm me?
No, it is Retin-A, which is tretinol.
Okay.
It is a vitamin. Actually, let me step back. It's your bleaching agent, your hydroquinone, your Retin-A, and a steroid. The steroid makes it tolerable
Oh, tolerable.
because the Retin-A is very strong.
Oh.
And when you have a product like that, we need a driver. So who's the driver of the Retin-A or of the hydroquinone, for an example, for bleaching?
Mhm.
It's the Retin-A drives the hydroquinone in. And
Oh,
that's why
wow.
there's a mixture of the three. But you're only supposed to use it for 4 months at a time.
Yes.
And so we had doctors writing it and writing it and writing it as it's a script.
Mhm.
And the FDA got involved and pulled it.
Yeah. I just remember it worked really, really well, and, I'm talking about melasma on my face from hormones and the sun, and
Mhm.
it's like my sun meter.
Yes.
If I go out with even wearing sunscreen and a hat, I still seem to get it back.
Pigment has memory.
Oh, I wish it didn't.
I know.
I sure wish
Darn
it
it all.
didn't. Ah.
So all we're doing is pushing it back. And
Okay.
I can get rid of everything on your face. And then you will go out in the sun without sunscreen on.
Mhm.
And it'll all be back with a vengeance.
Oh, and it's crazy.
Yes. So sunscreen's important. I tell people, yes, we can get rid of this and it'll take a little while, but you can't not wear a sunscreen. It will come back.
So that's our big takeaway today is wear sunscreen
Yes.
because you can be in front of a computer and that blue light, I am sure, has got to do something.
Sure. Yeah. The sun is the fastest aging process we have. It ages us faster than anything out there.
Wow, I'm gonna be eternally young then because I hardly go out into the sun.
You and me
But then
both.
when I do, I burn like this, so I probably took care of it all.
Right. Exactly.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, and
Well, thank
I
you for
can't
having me.
absolutely, I can't wait to do another deep dive with you on a next podcast so we can talk more about skincare. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
you have been listening to the Fashionista Life. I'm your host, Jennifer. Please tune in to all of our episodes. We would love to have you on here. And thanks for tuning in.